And hello and welcome to the Mystic Order of the Sacred Circle. So I am in the process of working on some uh, offering discs, I guess, in a way. Each full and dark moon, I use one of these in my ritual. So when I first began, here's one for the dark moon, and it is just an eggshell that's attached to one cut disc, and there is a candle that I dripped wax on and then stuck it there. And then for the dark moon, I got Hecate's, one of Hecate's symbols on wood burned into it right here. Well, okay, now this is just, no wait, yep, that's wood burned. Wood burned into it. And that was how I originally did the dark moon discs. And for the full moon, it was basically the same thing, but it has Thoth wood burned into the disc in a single disc. Now, I was doing it where I had Thoth on one side and Hecate on the other so that I could wood burn a lot of them. As a matter of fact, I think that's just drawn on there. I didn't end up wood burning that one. But I could do both sides, and depending on which one I used would be the one that was on the top. But let's see if the bottom was like, I don't think, no, the bottom of that one is not like that. So anyway, this is how I originally did it. Now, when I would do my full moon, I would put in some sage, some sort of bread, which usually was a cracker, and some pokeberry. That would be my three ingredients that I would put into the full moon one. Now when I would do my dark moon ritual, I would have honey, garlic, and either dandelion or chicory, depending, would be in the eggshell for the offering. Now that's how I originally did it, and I did that for months and months and months, but I started running out of these discs. I didn't have enough of discs to continue. So I was trying to figure a different way of doing it. Well, a couple of these discs, and this one I actually purchased, and they were all pretty well rounded and did really well. And then the ones that look like this, I cut myself, and this happens to be from a cherry tree. So I cut myself, and some of them were smaller than the other, and others. And if you can see, I just finished cutting, what I have left. And these are much smaller. There's a smaller piece of wood. Anyway, some of these were small enough that on a mundane sense, when I would put them in the water, they'd just flip over, and that'd be the end of it. So a few of them were doing that with obvious reasoning behind it, was that, you know, they just weren't buoyant enough, or I cut them cocky-wamist, and like some of these here, I'm not going to move them because it's still wet, but some of these here are the way they were cut was weird, or some of them were bigger than others, and so they would just flip over, and that'd be the end of it. So I decided that I would go to a 5-disc setup where I'd have one in the center and then 4 around it, and that's how I would do it. Now, this is how I do them now, and these I just got set up, so they may still be a little wet, so we're going to not try to tilt those too much. Anyway, right now we have where I'm just marking with a red permanent marker. I have thought about wood burning them, but I haven't gotten to that point yet. I'm just still marking each of the elements, north, south, east and west, with the triangle that symbolizes that particular element. And in the center, again, I still have the eggshell that's attached. In the north, right now I'm using a small rock. In the east, I am using a feather. And I have a decent amount of just random feathers that I pick up off the ground that I don't have in my feather stash. If I ever run out of feathers, I'll substitute that with incense. Then I'll have to light that and the candle, but right now I'm using feathers. Then I'm attaching a smaller eggshell over here so I can put a little water in west, and then of course for south I have the candle. And these 5 are very balanced. I've used these a couple times. They are very, very balanced, and they don't tip over. They just don't. So that's the way that I have designed the new ones. Now, I have 3 of them that are in the finishing. They're all glued together. They're nice and solid, and I just attached all of the elements to them. I've got 3 of those done that way. I'm working on these 2 right now, and I have a bucket full of the wood chips, wood rounds, that I just cut this morning, and that finishes off all the wood that I have. I should have enough in there to make another 4 or 5 at least. But what has happened is for the last couple months, well, this month I didn't get around to finishing these off. Hold on, I'm doing a video, I'll be right there. I didn't have time finishing these off. Well, I didn't spend the time finishing these off. So I ended up using just the discs like this. And the last couple times that I've used these, they have not really worked. 2 out of the 3 times they flipped over. Just boom. One of them did okay. The first one that I did floated for a few seconds, and then it just slightly tipped and fell over. The second one worked just fine. The third one I stuck in the water, and it just immediately flipped over just like that, and that was the end of it. So yes, there we go. Yes, there is a very mundane and normal explanation for that. The discs were just too small, everything was unbalanced, and it just tilted over. I'm not arguing that there is an absolute mundane, normal explanation for the purpose, but what if it was a magical reasoning behind it? What was that? So I proceeded to do some research and find out, and through the research and just searching from within, because that last time it happened, I knew exactly what it was. I just felt it instantly. Firstly, I had not taken the time that I should have and just finished these and done these. That was, first of all, I knew that it was just me being lazy. So I knew that that was really the reason. I was just being lazy. But because I have implemented these and I have used these, then I have kind of set a precedent that they need to be this way now. Not the old way, which is, I wouldn't say less, but when you start with this, and if you stay with this, that's one thing. But if you decide to progress, which I did, into something more elaborate like this, then it's expected to be this way. When I do something that I had done before that was less than, and I don't really want to say less than as in a particular sense that you're thinking this is less than this, like this. It's just, you can get it, right? This is less than this. You can see the less than, right? I'm not talking about this is less effective than this just because this is bigger and more elaborate. It's got nothing to do with that. It's the fact that when I started with this was how it was, and it was fine. But when I chose to progress this offering disc, I made a conscious choice to use these. So I shouldn't go back to this. And when I did go back to this, it was simply because of laziness. And I'm not going to deny that. It was simply because of laziness. And that doesn't cut it. Just doesn't cut it. I got away with it once. The other time it was like, hey dude, you know, what's going on? The third time I did it, it was like, just flipped right over. It's like, no, we're not playing this game. And I got the message. I really did get the message. So I'm going to be working on these in the next couple days to try to get these set up enough. So I do have 3 of them. So I have the next full dark and full moon. I get 2 of them, or 3 of them done, and then I've got these 2 working. So I should have a handful of these within the next couple days. Plenty enough to keep me until I can find another limb that I can use to cut these discs and make some more. But here we go again. This is how it looks. So we have each of the elements marked by the triangle that represents them. In the north, I'm using a rock right now. And then the west, I've got water. The east, I'm using a feather. And in the south, I am using a candle. Now, if I have to substitute anything, I will. But right now, I think everything will work out just fine. So here are the new offering discs that I need to maintain instead of going back to the single ones. 1 second, buddy. And of course, in the center here, in the center egg, depending, full moon is sage bread and pokeberry, and the dark moon is honey, dandelion, or chicory, and garlic. So that's how that works. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope this was informative, and maybe you can think about doing something like this for a ritual for yourself.